Imagine diving into a book that's more than just words on paper. It's a key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe. The Kybalion, anonymously written in 1908, draws inspiration from ancient Hermetic philosophy, bringing to light teachings that challenge how we perceive the world. This isn't just any book. It's an invitation to explore the universal principles that govern both the material and spiritual planes. The first step on this journey is understanding that wisdom, no matter its source, must be approached with discernment. After all, what matters isn't who wrote it, but what's written and how it can transform your life. Hermetic philosophy, attributed to the legendary figure Hermes Trismegistus, suggests that the universe operates through hidden laws. These laws, when understood, allow us to align with the cosmic forces that shape existence. The Kybalion serves as a guide to these principles, offering stepping stones for deeper understanding over time. But here's the thing. This isn't a book to be read once and shelved. It's a text that reveals new layers of meaning with each reading, inviting you to reflect, question, and grow. One of the core ideas in the Kybalion is the importance of critical thinking. In a world overflowing with information, it's easy to get lost in the noise. This book acts as a compass, helping you navigate through the labyrinth of universal truths. However, the map is only as good as the traveler's ability to read it. That's where discernment comes in, separating the profound from the superficial, the timeless from the temporary. It's not about blindly accepting what's written. It's about engaging with the material and making it your own. The teachings of the Kybalion are deeply rooted in the concept of duality and polarity, ideas that appear in various forms across cultures and traditions. From the yin-yang of Eastern philosophy to the archetypes explored by Carl Jung, these principles remind us that opposites are not in conflict, but in harmony. They are two sides of the same coin, each necessary for the balance of the whole. This understanding is crucial as we delve deeper into the Hermetic maxims and their applications in our lives. As you begin this journey with the Kybalion, keep in mind that the book is not meant to provide all the answers. Instead, it offers a framework for exploring the mysteries of existence. The principle of gender, the interplay of energy, and the laws of mental generation are just the beginning. Each concept builds on the last, creating a tapestry of wisdom that invites you to look beyond the surface. So, are you ready to take the first step and see where this path leads? Chapter 1. The concept of passing knowledge forward. Knowledge is one of the few things in life that grows when shared. At the very beginning of the Kybalion, there's a symbolic poem that speaks to the importance of preserving and transmitting wisdom. It's a reminder that material possessions fade, but the legacy of knowledge endures. Think about it. You can inherit a house, money, or even a business, but those things are temporary. What truly lasts is the wisdom you pass on to others, the divine flame that lights the way for future generations. This idea isn't just poetic, it's deeply practical. Imagine planting a tree whose shade you may never sit under. You do it not for yourself, but for those who come after you. The same applies to knowledge. When you share what you've learned, you're contributing to a collective consciousness that transcends time and space. It's like adding a brick to a temple that will stand long after you're gone. And in doing so, you become part of something much larger than yourself. But passing knowledge forward isn't just about sharing facts or theories. It's about embodying the principles you've learned. For example, if you've grasped the Hermetic concept of as above, so below, you might start seeing patterns in your own life that mirror the cosmic laws. When you share this insight with someone else, you're not just repeating words. You're offering them a lens through which they can view their own experiences. That's how wisdom becomes transformative. Of course, this responsibility isn't always easy. It requires humility, patience, and a willingness to meet people where they are. Not everyone will be ready to receive the teachings of the Kybalion, and that's okay. The key is to plant seeds. You might not see them grow right away, but under the right conditions, they'll take root. And when they do, the impact can be profound. Think of it as a ripple effect. One person shares, another learns, and the cycle continues. So, how can you start passing knowledge forward in your own life? Begin by reflecting on what you've learned and how it's changed you. Then, look for opportunities to share those insights, whether through conversation, writing, or even creative expression. Remember, it's not about being an expert. It's about being a guide. And as you take on this role, you'll find that the act of teaching deepens your own understanding. After all, the best way to master something is to share it with others. Chapter 2. The Legacy of Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes Trismegistus. The name itself carries an air of mystery and reverence. Often referred to as the thrice great, this legendary figure is said to have lived thousands of years ago, bridging the wisdom of ancient Egypt with the philosophical traditions of Greece. His teachings form the foundation of Hermetic philosophy, a body of knowledge that explores the hidden laws governing the universe. But who was Hermes, really? Was he a man, a myth, or something beyond both? The answer might not matter as much as the wisdom he left behind. The legacy of Hermes is not about historical accuracy. It's about the timeless truths he represents. His teaching suggests that the universe operates through principles that, when understood, allow us to live in harmony with life itself. These principles aren't meant to be memorized or recited like a textbook. Instead, they're stepping stones, each one inviting you to dive deeper into the mysteries of existence. Think of the Kybalion as a map, and Hermes as the guide who points the way. One of the most fascinating aspects of Hermetic philosophy is its emphasis on the interconnectedness of all things. Hermes taught that the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, the individual, are reflections of each other. This idea, often summarized as above, so below, suggests that by understanding ourselves, we can understand the cosmos, and vice versa. It's a profound concept that challenges us to look inward as much as we look outward. But here's the thing. Hermetic wisdom isn't meant to be consumed in one sitting. It's not a quick fix or a shortcut to enlightenment. Instead, it's a lifelong journey of discovery. Each time you revisit the teachings, you'll uncover new layers of meaning. For example, the principle of polarity, the idea that opposites are two sides of the same coin, might seem simple at first, but as you apply it to your own life, you'll start to see it everywhere, in relationships, in nature, even in your own thoughts and emotions. So, how can you begin to engage with the legacy of Hermes? Start by approaching the teachings with an open mind and a curious heart. Don't rush to conclusions or dismiss ideas that seem abstract. Instead, sit with them. Reflect on how they might apply to your own experiences. For instance, if you're struggling with a decision, consider the principle of duality. Are there opposing forces at play? How can you find balance between them? By doing this, you're not just learning about Hermetic philosophy, you're living it. Chapter 3. The Principle of Gender, Beyond Biological Sex. When you hear the word gender, what comes to mind? For many, it's a concept tied to biology or social roles. But in the Hermetic tradition, gender goes far beyond that. It's a universal principle that exists on all planes of existence: physical, mental, and spiritual. This principle isn't about male or female in the traditional sense. It's about the interplay of energies that create, sustain, and transform everything in the universe. Think of it as the cosmic dance of opposites, where each partner brings something essential to the whole. In Hermetic philosophy, everything is alive and evolving. Not just plants, animals, and humans, but also minerals, planets, and even galaxies. Each of these entities embodies the principle of gender in its own way. For example, In the mineral kingdom, crystals grow through a process that mirrors the interplay of masculine and feminine energies. The same principle applies to the stars. The sun, often seen as masculine, radiates energy, while the planets, often seen as feminine, receive and reflect that energy. It's a dynamic relationship that keeps the cosmos in motion. But here's where things get interesting. The principle of gender isn't limited to physical forms. It also operates in the realm of thought and emotion. Every idea, every feeling, has both a masculine and feminine aspect. The masculine energy is associated with initiation, direction, and structure, while the feminine energy is linked to creativity, receptivity, and nurturing. When these energies are balanced, they give rise to harmony and growth. When they're out of balance, chaos and stagnation can follow. Take creativity, for example. The initial spark of an idea, the aha moment, is often driven by masculine energy. It's bold, decisive, and action-oriented. But bringing that idea to life requires feminine energy, the patience to nurture it, the flexibility to adapt it, and the openness to let it evolve. Without both energies working together, the idea remains just that, an idea. It's only through their collaboration that something truly remarkable can emerge. So, how can you apply this principle in your own life? Start by observing the interplay of masculine and feminine energies within you. Are you more inclined to take action, or do you tend to wait and reflect? Do you focus on structure and logic, or do you lean into intuition and creativity? The goal isn't to label yourself as one or the other, but to recognize and honor both aspects. By doing so, you'll find greater balance and flow in everything you do. Chapter 4. Gender as a fundamental force in the universe. Imagine the universe as a grand symphony, where every note, every instrument, plays a part in creating harmony. At the heart of this symphony is the principle of gender, a fundamental force that shapes everything from the tiniest atom to the vastest galaxy. In the Hermetic tradition, this principle isn't just a metaphor, it's a law of nature. It's the dynamic interplay of energies that makes creation possible, and understanding it can transform how you see the world. Let's start small, really small. Take an atom, for instance. At its core, you have the nucleus, often associated with masculine energy. It's stable, concentrated, and full of potential. Surrounding it are electrons, which embody feminine energy. They're fluid, dynamic, and constantly in motion. Together, these two forces create the building blocks of matter. Without their interaction, there would be no atoms, no molecules, no life as we know it. It's a perfect example of how gender operates on even the most basic level. Now, zoom out to the cosmic scale. The sun, with its radiant energy, is often seen as masculine. It's the source of light and life, the initiator of action. The planets, on the other hand, are seen as feminine. They receive the sun's energy and reflect it in unique ways, creating the conditions for growth and evolution. This celestial dance isn't just poetic. It's a reflection of the universal principle of gender at work. It's a reminder that creation is a collaborative process, requiring both giving and receiving. But the principle of gender isn't just about physical forces. It's also about the energies within us. Think about your own creative process. When you have an idea, there's a moment of inspiration, a spark of masculine energy. But to bring that idea to life, you need feminine energy, the patience to develop it, the intuition to refine it, and the openness to let it evolve. It's a partnership, and like any partnership, it thrives on balance and mutual respect. So, how can you harness this principle in your daily life? Start by observing the balance of energies in your environment and within yourself. Are you giving too much and not receiving enough? Or vice versa? Are you stuck in action mode? Or are you neglecting your creative side? By tuning into these dynamics, you can begin to align yourself with the natural flow of the universe. And when you do, you'll find that creation, whether it's a project, a relationship, or a new chapter in your life, becomes not just easier, but more joyful. Chapter 5. The Misinterpretation of Gender and Spiritual Growth. Throughout history, the principle of gender has been misunderstood, often reduced to simplistic or even distorted interpretations. Some traditions have mistakenly linked spiritual growth to physical acts, particularly sexual practices, as if the key to enlightenment could be found in the body alone. This misinterpretation has led to confusion, obsession, and even exploitation, turning a profound universal principle into something shallow and materialistic. But the truth is, spiritual growth isn't about the body. It's about the balance of energies within. The Hermetic teachings make it clear. Gender is a principle that operates on all levels of existence, not just the physical. While the body may reflect this principle, it's merely a shadow of the deeper truth. True self-development requires recognizing and harmonizing the masculine and feminine energies within your own consciousness. It's about integrating these forces, not fixating on their external expressions. After all, the goal isn't to transcend the body, but to transcend the limitations of the mind. One of the pitfalls of misunderstanding gender is the tendency to overemphasize one energy at the expense of the other. For example, someone might focus solely on masculine traits like logic, control, and action, neglecting the feminine qualities of intuition, receptivity, and creativity. Or they might do the opposite, becoming so passive and reflective that they lose the drive to take action. In both cases, the imbalance creates friction, stunting spiritual growth and leading to frustration. So, how can you avoid these pitfalls? Start by examining your own tendencies. Are you more comfortable in one energy than the other? Do you resist certain qualities because they feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable? The key is to embrace both sides of the spectrum. If you're naturally action-oriented, try spending time in reflection or creative pursuits. If you're more intuitive, challenge yourself to take decisive steps toward your goals. It's not about becoming someone you're not. It's about expanding who you already are. Another common mistake is projecting the principle of gender onto others, using it to justify stereotypes or divisions. This not only distorts the principle, but also creates barriers to genuine connection. The Hermetic teachings remind us that every individual contains both masculine and feminine energies, regardless of their physical form or social role. By recognizing this, you can move beyond superficial judgments and see others, and yourself, as whole, dynamic beings. Ultimately, the misinterpretation of gender is a reminder of how easily profound truths can be diluted or distorted. But when you approach the principle with an open mind and a willingness to explore its deeper meanings, you'll find that it holds the key to true spiritual growth. It's not about rejecting one energy in favor of the other. It's about finding the harmony between them. And when you do, you'll discover a new level of balance, creativity, and fulfillment. Chapter 6. The Symbolism of Gender in Various Traditions. The principle of gender isn't unique to Hermetic philosophy. It's a universal concept that appears in various forms across cultures and traditions. Take the yin-yang symbol, for example. This ancient Taoist emblem represents the interplay of opposites, dark and light, passive and active, feminine and masculine. But here's the beauty of it. The symbol isn't static. The small dot of yin within yang, and yang within yin, shows that each contains the seed of the other. It's a powerful reminder that opposites aren't in conflict. They're in constant, dynamic balance. In Christianity, the symbolism of gender is woven into sacred rituals and imagery. Consider the Eucharist, where bread and wine represent the body and blood of Christ. On a deeper level, these elements can be seen as symbols of masculine and feminine energies. The bread, solid and nourishing, embodies the masculine principle of structure and sustenance, while the wine, fluid and transformative, reflects the feminine principle of flow and renewal. Together, they create a sacred union, a moment of spiritual wholeness. Alchemy, too, is rich with gender symbolism. The stages of transformation, nigredo, black, albedo, white, and rubedo, red, mirror the journey of spiritual evolution. The black stage represents the descent into the unconscious, the feminine realm of introspection and dissolution. The white stage symbolizes purification and clarity, a balance of energies. Finally, the red stage embodies the ascent to higher consciousness, where masculine and feminine forces unite to create something entirely new. It's a process of death and rebirth, both literal and metaphorical. Even in ancient Egypt, the principle of gender was central to their cosmology. The god Osiris, associated with masculine energy, represented order, resurrection, and the life-giving Nile. His counterpart, Isis, embodied feminine energy, magic, intuition, and the nurturing power of creation. Together, they symbolize the balance of forces necessary for life to flourish. This duality wasn't just a myth. It was a reflection of the natural world and the human experience. So, what can we learn from these traditions? First, that the principle of gender is a universal truth, expressed in countless ways across time and culture. Second, that understanding this principle isn't about choosing one energy over the other, but about finding harmony between them. Whether it's through meditation, ritual, or simply observing the world around you, you can begin to see how these energies shape your life and the lives of others. Chapter 7. The Role of Gender in Thought and Emotion. Have you ever stopped to wonder where your thoughts and emotions come from? According to the Hermetic teachings, every idea and feeling has both masculine and feminine aspects. The masculine energy is associated with logic, structure, and initiation. It's the force that gives shape to an idea. The feminine energy, on the other hand, is linked to intuition, creativity, and receptivity. It's the force that nurtures and develops that idea. Together, these energies create the mental and emotional landscape of your inner world. Think about a time when you had a sudden insight or aha moment. That spark of inspiration is a perfect example of masculine energy in action. It's bold, decisive, and full of potential. But to turn that insight into something meaningful, you need feminine energy. This is where reflection, patience, and adaptability come into play. It's the difference between having a great idea and actually bringing it to life. Without both energies working together, the idea remains just that, an idea. Emotions, too, are shaped by the interplay of these forces. Take love, for example. The masculine aspect of love might be expressed as protection, commitment, and action, the drive to care for someone. The feminine aspect, meanwhile, might manifest as empathy, nurturing, and emotional openness, the ability to connect deeply. When these energies are balanced, love becomes a powerful, harmonious force. But when one dominates the other, it can lead to imbalance, like possessiveness or emotional detachment. So, how can you apply this understanding to your own thoughts and emotions? Start by observing their parental origins. When you feel a strong emotion or have a recurring thought, ask yourself, is this coming from a place of logic and structure, masculine, or intuition and creativity, feminine? By recognizing the source, you can begin to bring these energies into balance. For example, if you're feeling stuck in overthinking, try tapping into your intuitive side. If you're overwhelmed by emotions, Focus on grounding yourself in logic and action. This principle also applies to how you interact with others. When you understand the dual nature of thought and emotion, you can better navigate conflicts and misunderstandings. For instance, if someone is being overly analytical, you might balance the conversation by introducing a more intuitive perspective. Or if someone is being overly emotional, you can help ground the discussion with logic and structure. It's about creating harmony, both within yourself and in your relationships. Chapter 8. The connection between gender and universal forces. The principle of gender isn't just a philosophical concept. It's a fundamental force that operates at every level of reality, from the smallest particles to the vastness of space. This principle shapes the way the universe functions. Take gravity, for example. While modern science describes it as a mechanical force, ancient traditions saw it as a form of cosmic love, an attraction that binds celestial bodies together. This idea isn't just poetic. It's a reflection of the gender principle in action. In the atomic world, the nucleus and electrons embody this principle. The nucleus, often associated with masculine energy, is stable and central, holding everything together. The electrons, representing feminine energy, are dynamic and fluid, constantly moving and interacting. Together, they create the foundation of matter. Without this interplay, atoms wouldn't exist, and neither would we. It's a reminder that creation is a collaborative process, requiring both stability and movement. On a larger scale, the relationship between the sun and planets illustrates the same principle. The sun, with its radiant energy, is often seen as masculine, the source of light and life. The planets, which receive and reflect that energy, are seen as feminine. This celestial dance isn't just a metaphor. It's a living example of how masculine and feminine forces work together to sustain the universe. It's a balance of giving and receiving, action and reflection. But the principle of gender isn't limited to physical forces. It also applies to the unseen energies that shape our lives. Take magnetism, for instance. The attraction between opposite poles mirrors the interplay of masculine and feminine energies. It's a force that can't be seen, but its effects are undeniable. Similarly, the energies within us, our thoughts, emotions, and intentions, follow the same laws. When these energies are in balance, we experience harmony and flow. When they're out of balance, we feel stuck or conflicted. So, how can you align yourself with these universal forces? Start by observing the balance of energies in your own life. Are you giving too much and not receiving enough? Or vice versa? Are you stuck in action mode? Or are you neglecting your creative side? By tuning into these dynamics, you can begin to harmonize with the natural flow of the universe. And when you do, you'll find that life becomes not just easier, but more meaningful. Chapter 9. Overcoming ego and prejudices through understanding gender. At the heart of every prejudice, every division, lies the ego. It's the part of us that clings to identity, to the idea of us versus them. Whether it's based on race, gender, religion, or nationality, these divisions stem from a deeper imbalance, a failure to recognize the unity behind the duality. The principle of gender offers a way to transcend these limitations, not by denying differences, but by understanding their deeper purpose. The ego thrives on separation. It creates labels and categories, dividing the world into neat boxes. But the Hermetic teachings remind us that these divisions are illusions. Beneath the surface, everything is interconnected. Masculine and feminine energies exist within all of us, regardless of our external form. By embracing this truth, we can begin to see beyond the superficial and recognize the unity that binds us all. One of the most powerful ways to overcome prejudice is to cultivate self-awareness. When you understand the dual nature of your own thoughts and emotions, you become less likely to project your imbalances onto others. For example, if you're struggling with anger or frustration, ask yourself, is this coming from an overemphasis on masculine energy, control, rigidity, or aggression? Or is it a lack of feminine energy, patience, empathy, or receptivity? By addressing the root cause, you can transform your reactions into responses. This principle also applies to how we view others. When you encounter someone who seems very different from you, try to see the balance of energies within them. Perhaps their assertiveness, masculine, is balanced by their compassion, feminine, or their creativity, feminine, is grounded in discipline, masculine. By recognizing these qualities, you can move beyond judgment and appreciate the complexity of their being. So, how can you start applying this in your daily life? Begin by examining your own biases and assumptions. Where do they come from? Are they rooted in fear, insecurity, or a lack of understanding? Then, practice seeing the world through the lens of unity. When you meet someone new, focus on what connects you rather than what divides you. Over time, this shift in perspective can transform not only your relationships, but also your sense of self. Ultimately, the principle of gender is a tool for transcending the ego and embracing a deeper truth, that we are all part of the same cosmic dance. By understanding and balancing the energies within ourselves, we can begin to see the same balance in others. And when we do, the walls of prejudice begin to crumble, revealing the unity that has always been there. Chapter 10. The Microcosm and Macrocosm, the Universe Within. The ancient Hermetic maxim, as above, so below, holds a profound truth. The universe isn't just something out there. It's also within you. You are a microcosm, a miniature reflection of a macrocosm. Every duality, every force, every principle that operates in the cosmos also exists within you. This idea isn't just poetic. It's a practical framework for understanding yourself and your place in the world. Think about it. The same forces that govern the stars also shape your thoughts and emotions. The interplay of masculine and feminine energies, the balance of opposites, the cycles of creation and destruction. These aren't just abstract concepts. They're alive within you, influencing every decision, every relationship, every moment of your life. By understanding this, you can begin to see your inner world as a mirror of the outer world, and vice versa. One of the most fascinating aspects of this principle is psychological projection. When you reject or judge something in others, it's often a reflection of something you haven't yet reconciled within yourself. For example, if you're irritated by someone's assertiveness, it might be because you're struggling to embrace your own masculine energy. Or if you're uncomfortable with someone's emotional openness, it could be a sign that you're out of touch with your feminine side. The outer world becomes a mirror, showing you where your inner world is out of balance. So, how can you use this understanding to grow? Start by paying attention to your reactions. When something or someone triggers you, ask yourself, what is this showing me about myself? What energy or quality am I resisting? By turning inward and exploring these questions, you can begin to heal the divisions within yourself. And as you do, you'll find that your outer world begins to shift as well. This principle also applies to your relationships. When you recognize that everyone you meet is a reflection of the same universal forces, it becomes easier to approach them with compassion and understanding. Instead of seeing differences as barriers, you can see them as opportunities for growth. For example, if you're in a conflict with someone, try to identify the energies at play. Are you both stuck in masculine rigidity, or is one of you leaning too heavily into feminine passivity? By finding the balance, you can transform conflict into collaboration. Ultimately, the microcosm and macrocosm are two sides of the same coin. By understanding the universe within, you can better navigate the universe without. And as you align yourself with these universal principles, you'll find that life becomes not just easier, but more meaningful. It's a journey of self-discovery that never ends, a dance of energies that keeps you growing, evolving, and expanding. Chapter 11. The philosophical significance of gender in human evolution. The principle of gender isn't just a philosophical idea. It's a driving force behind human evolution. From the physical to the spiritual, this principle shapes how we grow, adapt, and transform. It's present in every aspect of nature, from the way cells divide to the way societies develop. But its significance goes even deeper. It's a key to understanding our own potential and the direction of our evolution as a species. At its core, the principle of gender is about balance. Just as an atom needs both a nucleus and electrons to function, or a solar system needs both a sun and planets to exist, human evolution requires the harmonious interplay of masculine and feminine energies. This balance isn't static. It's dynamic, constantly shifting and adapting to new challenges. It's what allows us to innovate, create, and evolve in response to changing circumstances. Historically, many societies have struggled with this balance, often favoring one energy over the other. For example, periods of excessive masculine energy, rigidity, control, and domination have led to conflict and stagnation. On the other hand, an overemphasis on feminine energy, passivity, indecision, and lack of structure can result in chaos and disorganization. True progress happens when these energies are in harmony, each complementing and enhancing the other. So, what does this mean for you as an individual? It means that your personal evolution depends on your ability to integrate these energies within yourself. Are you too focused on logic and action, neglecting your intuition and creativity? Or are you so immersed in reflection and emotion that you struggle to take decisive steps? By identifying where you're out of balance, you can begin to realign yourself with the natural flow of evolution. This principle also has profound implications for collective evolution. As more individuals awaken to the importance of balancing masculine and feminine energies, societies can begin to shift as well. Imagine a world where leadership is both strong and compassionate, where innovation is both logical and creative, where progress is both ambitious and sustainable. This isn't just a dream, it's a possibility, but only if we embrace the principle of gender in its fullest sense. Ultimately, the philosophical significance of gender lies in its ability to guide us toward a higher state of being. It's not just about personal growth. It's about collective transformation. By understanding and applying this principle, we can move beyond the limitations of duality and step into a new era of unity and harmony. The question is, are you ready to be part of that evolution? Chapter 12. Preparing for the final chapters. As we near the end of this exploration, it's clear that the principle of gender is far more than a philosophical concept. It's a living, breathing force that shapes every aspect of existence. From the atomic to the cosmic, from the personal to the collective, this principle offers a framework for understanding the world and our place within it. But this isn't the end of the journey. It's just the beginning. The final chapters of the Kybalion invite us to take this understanding and apply it in practical, transformative ways. The next chapter will delve into how we can actively use the principle of gender in our thoughts and emotions. Imagine being able to consciously generate higher quality thoughts, to shape your emotional landscape with intention and clarity. This isn't about controlling every thought or suppressing emotions. It's about understanding their origins and guiding them toward harmony. It's a skill that requires practice, but the rewards are profound. Greater self-awareness, deeper relationships, and a more fulfilling life. One of the key takeaways from this exploration is that gender isn't just a biological or social construct. It's a fundamental force behind creation and expansion. Whether you're working on a creative project, navigating a relationship, or seeking personal growth, understanding this principle can help you find balance and flow. It's about recognizing the interplay of energies within yourself and using that knowledge to create something greater than the sum of its parts. So, how can you prepare for the final chapters? Start by reflecting on what you've learned so far. How has your understanding of gender shifted? Where do you see imbalances in your own life? And how can you begin to address them? Take small steps. If you're overly analytical, try spending time in creative activities. If you're overly emotional, practice grounding yourself in logic and structure. These small shifts can have a ripple effect, leading to greater harmony and growth. Another way to prepare is to cultivate curiosity and openness. The final chapters will challenge you to think in new ways, to explore ideas that might feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable. But that's where the magic happens, on the edge of your comfort zone. By approaching these teachings with an open mind and a willingness to experiment, you'll unlock new levels of understanding and transformation. As we wrap up this chapter, remember that the journey doesn't end here. The principle of gender is a lifelong exploration, a dance of energies that keeps evolving as you do. The final chapters are just around the corner, and they promise to take you even deeper into the mysteries of existence. So, take a moment to reflect, to integrate, and to prepare. The next step is yours to take. Conclusion: pay attention to your thoughts and emotions. So what's next? You've just taken a deep dive into one of the most transformative principles of the Kybalion, mental gender. But here's the thing. Knowledge is only as powerful as what you do with it. Are you going to let these ideas sit on the shelf, or are you ready to put them into action? The choice is yours, and it's a choice that could change everything. Start small. Pay attention to your thoughts and emotions. Are they balanced, or is one energy dominating the other? When you catch yourself overthinking, pause and tap into your intuition. When you feel stuck in emotion, ground yourself in logic and action. These small shifts can create a ripple effect, leading to greater clarity, creativity, and harmony in your life. But don't stop there. Share what you've learned. Talk to a friend, write down your insights, or even teach someone else. When you share wisdom, you deepen your own understanding and create a ripple effect that can touch countless lives. Remember, the divine flame of knowledge grows brighter when it's passed on. Now, here's a challenge for you. Over the next week, pick one area of your life where you feel out of balance. It could be your work, your relationships, or even your creative projects. Apply the principle of mental gender to that area. Observe the results. How does it feel to bring these energies into harmony? What changes do you notice? Share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how this principle is transforming your life. If you found this exploration valuable, don't let it end here. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. There's so much more to uncover, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Together, we can unlock the secrets of the universe and create a life of balance, growth, and fulfillment. So what are you waiting for? The journey is just beginning. Take the first step, and let's see where it leads.